All right, everybody, welcome to the call today. This is Scott Pierce with Yi Gong at Listings Leads, and we're going to be doing open house mastery. So we're going to be doing open houses like you have literally never done before, unless you followed our training, and hopefully we'll do something a little bit different and make it even better the next time through. So go ahead and type in where you're coming in from. Would love to hear your location, maybe your brokerage, and what have you done with open houses in the past? Maybe that's worked for you or not. And if you followed any of the training that we've done, we'd love to hear a little bit of the feedback, good and bad, because you may have done something that we train on, and maybe you've done it a little bit wrong, and we can help correct that, just like we do a lot of other things as well. So with that, Yi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. And hello, everyone who are joining us from the East Coast, and hello from the West, and hello from everyone from in between. Welcome to our live session. We're so glad you're here because I know you could be doing a million things right now. And the fact that you are here means a lot to us. It means you're committed, right, to learning the
Yeah.
skills and the tools to be successful for your next open house. So we can't wait. So without further ado, let's just jump in.
Awesome. And Cindy, you were on the call last night. And Cindy, I think I saw your post in the mastermind group. I will get the if we can get the AI text follow-up, let's do a half off on that for another month.
Okay.
Especially based on Craig's call last night. I think we got some people that are interested in that. So
Yeah.
I haven't checked on that and if we're still have the half price going on or not. So, but let's make sure we do that. So Cindy, thank you for being on the call today. Scott, awesome to see you. We actually lived in Sarasota for a while. Love Sarasota. We lived there before they redid the parking lot and take our kids there 4 to 5 times a week to the Siesta Key Beach. Still one of my favorite places in the world. Love it, love it. All right, Chris from DFW 35 Realty. Awesome. Good to see you as well. So as we go through this, go ahead and please leave your comments, leave questions as we go through it. Share this link with your friends, share it with your networking and your Facebook group so that we can get more people on these calls and get more people with success in doing open houses. So before we do that, we did the call last night and I created a blog post today for it. And it was on struggling with Facebook ads, unlock 8 to 14x ROI secrets. And this call was so full of gems. We actually had Craig Johnson, a mortgage broker who works with agents. And so he runs ads in partnership with real estate agents. And the success that he's had over the last 2.5 months, the thing I love about his success is I like to say it's average. So it's not where I brought somebody on who, got 33 listings and 45 buyers and some sort of thing that you could never achieve, right? Because it's just so far out there. The reason I had the call with him last night and I invited him to be on was, again, his results, if you do it the way we talk about in this video at our blog, and in fact, I'm going to go ahead and put this into the chat. Lisa, how you doing? Good to see you down there in Atlanta. Wow. So here's the link to that video. Watch this video because there's going to be things in here that are really going to help you save money, spend a little bit of money, but spend it in the right way and make sure you're doing things properly. Because doing Facebook ads is not about doing an ad. All right. And it's not about doing an ad for $35 every couple of weeks and wondering why you're not getting success. This video right here is going to walk you through how to have great success. If you're watching this on the recording, you can get into the mastermind group, go to our YouTube channel, just find Listings to Leads on YouTube and click the live tab and then find struggling with Facebook ads. And as a bonus right below here, I walk through running. This is in the second video here. This will link to the mastermind group. So you'll see here, if you're not a member, you'll have to ask for an invite. But if you are a member, in this video, I actually run an ad. So I literally ran this ad yesterday, right before the Facebook ad call that we did. Already in 16 hours, this agent has had a conversation with the lead with $1 million waterfront property for a listing. And you remember last night, right? What did we say last night? If you want to get sellers, what do?
You run buyer ads.
There you go. If you want to get sellers, running buyer ads is one of the cheapest and best ways to do it. Now, we've got a lot of seller ads that you can run, right? What is your home worth? Uh, 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 iBuyer cash offer, all the PDF guides that we've got. So we've got a lot of great seller focused ads. But if you think about it, and I track this stuff with a few different clients, half of the leads he is generating own a home.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And you got to figure more than half of those people, probably 80%, are going to sell their home before they buy or after they buy or around the same time that they buy. And so being cognizant of that and looking up what do they own a home or not, then you can be proactive in offering your service and value to help them navigate that buy sell process. So
Awesome.
don't think that just because I'm running an ad for an open house like we're going to do this week, that I'm generating buyer leads only. Right, half those buyer leads are going to have a home statistically, and probably 75 to 80% of those are going to be selling that home, before, during, or after they buy their new one.
Right. Absolutely. So now you get the possibility of getting two listings, sell and buy,
Oh,
all from a buyer's
100%.
ad. Yeah. So, okay, let's jump in. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why you do open house seminars all the time? Like, why you choose that topic?
That's a great question. And it's because they are just so powerful, right? Our open house marketing strategy, both open house marketing, which is all the marketing we do before the open house, and open house mastery combined
Uh-huh.
together literally can bring buyers and sellers to every open house for you. I don't mean just buyers and sellers coming through. I mean buyers and sellers that you're going to be engaging with using the strategies that we're going to be talking about. And we've all gone to open houses, right? You've gone to open houses.
Yeah.
You'll never see an open house done the way we do it unless the person was in this training and is doing it. And if you do, you are going to be so far ahead of establishing your brand and your engagement with people in the area, on the internet, everywhere around, that you are going to just absolutely blow it out of the water. And it's similar to Facebook ads. The first time you do it, it may be a little bit rough. You may be a little bit nervous. You may forget something. Maybe you don't have time to get something done. But as you do these more often, you're going to get a lot smoother and a lot quicker and a lot better with it. You're going to get a lot more engagement. So the best thing you can do for your business is doing an open house every week that you can. All
Okay.
right. Now, it's not just any open house. We're going to walk through making sure we got the right open house, make sure we do the right marketing, make sure we do the right open house itself. So, make sure we conduct the actual open house itself properly, because
Right.
there's a lot of ways you can do it wrong. There's a lot of things you can do that don't increase engagement or leads, buyers or sellers. And why do we want to waste our time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
So, okay, that sounds good. So
yeah, you
let's
got to figure if you're doing an open house, you're probably going to spend at least 3 hours doing the open house. Spend an extra hour or two and just compound your results that you're going to get from that same open house that you're doing.
right, right.
All right. With that, I do want to later, you can go to listingsleads.com/open house. We got a lot of this training right here, and this is kind of the repository. So you'll see the open house sign in form, the open house marketing. We talk about the open house mastery here. We go through a lot of other things that I'm going to come back to a little bit later. So again, listingsleads.com/open house for more information about what we're covering here today.
Right. There's a complete checklist, correct?
Oh, yeah. In fact, we will go through that. In fact, you know what? After you log into your account, and if you're not a client, and if you're watching this live, and you are a client, I encourage you, log into your account right now if you can. Maybe you watch us on the phone or you watch us on a second monitor, and then
Mhm.
you actually do some of the stuff with us. I think that would be great. You could get some of this done while we are on the call today. And I want to keep in mind, today is Wednesday. Yes, today's Wednesday. The open houses are coming up on Saturday and Sunday typically, unless you're doing a neighbor's preview. We like to have a little bit more time for our marketing, but
Mhm.
Wednesday is still fine, but make sure we get on it. All right. We don't have a lot of extra time to wait to start marketing that open house. So, especially the ad and a few other things you're going to want to get done today. And this is going to work whether it's your listing or not. So even if you don't have a listing, what we're going to be covering today can be done with a borrowed listing that you hold open.
Since you mentioned about the timing of marketing, what do you think is the
Yeah.
best time to market an open house?
Well, I think Monday. I think
Monday. Okay.
Monday's the Monday before starting it. Now, you're not going to do everything on Monday, but as we walk through this, I will actually put days to the activities. So, for example, the open house ad I'd want to run starting Monday, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would be appropriate. So even right now would be a great time to start that open house ad, and I'll show you how to make sure that the ad ends during or just after the open house, so you're not wasting time and making sure you get all that budget spent when you want it spent for the open house. So yeah, we'll walk through some of that stuff here
Okay.
and really lay it out for people
And you
when
can
you're.
schedule it, right? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You can schedule it, get it ready,
Mhm.
so you can schedule to run the ads starting
Yep,
Monday and run it for 6
exactly.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. So on the dashboard, over here on the right hand side are all the different checklists. So on the right hand side, you'll see social media database, geofarm, and circle prospecting checklist. The second one down is open houses. And the view step-by-step guide, that is listingsoleads.com/open house. So that was the page I referenced a little bit earlier. And that's got a great, so it has the videos, it's got a walkthrough, it's really good. Here you see the checklist. So if I click download, now there's one item that's not on the checklist and I need to get it on there. I've been a little bit lazy maybe, or whatever you want to call it. But from the checklist, as you can see here, social media free and paid, database email, and then farm and circle prospecting. So
Okay,
this
so
is the checklist for open house marketing. And then there's another checklist that we'll look at for the open house mastery, which is the part that you're going to do that creates an open house itself that becomes a lead generator, an engager, and really a converter. I
okay.
mean, I've had people leave an open house with, in fact, a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now, one of our clients, 2 buyers and a listing from literally from that 2-hour open house,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Because he followed this stuff that we're talking.
Right,
He's
right.
been a client for a number of years. Didn't
Mhm.
always do the open houses the way we talk about them, but as he got more serious about it and started doing more of them, he learned, you know what, if I just do it, if I follow the training, but internalize it, make it mine, because you're gonna, everything has to be you, your personality, your brand, laid on the activities that we're talking about here today. You're
Mhm.
going to start seeing the most fabulous results from open houses that you've ever had. And that is what we want.
Okay, can you go back to that checklist? Can you say you mentioned you missing one item?
Yes. I
Okay,
mentioned, great. And I'll come back to this a little bit later,
okay.
but on the step-by-step guide right here. So, again, open house listings, if you click learn more, and if you go to listingsalades.com/open house, it'll take you to this page. There's one item on the checklist that's not on the checklist.
Mhm.
And that is this idea here of doing Instagram stories, reels, TikToks for your open house um, for 5 days before the open house. So I know it's Wednesday, so it might be too late for you especially if you're on the East Coast, but you can take some of these ideas Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and if your open house is Sunday, that'll give you a minimum of 4 stories, reels, TikToks, YouTube shorts that you can get done and out the door. So you get some really, really good free engagement. And in fact, let me,
That's a really good idea.
yeah, I'll show you a couple of real quick examples here, and then we'll come back to this a little bit later and spend more time. But check this out. So here's an Instagram story, and it's got a link to the single property website. Right, absolutely awesome. That could have linked to the listing landing page, and it's got a poll. So we are using that open house to engage people for absolutely free. All right, here's another one with an image of the kitchen. All right, and here we're now linking to the PDF guide.
Right, right.
Right, I mean, if somebody is interested in an open house, they may very well be interested in 6 things to check before buying a home guide. Makes sense. And then here we got a poll. Is this kitchen your vibe? Yes, I'll cook there every night. Is that kitchen your vibe?
Oh, love it. It's everybody's dream kitchen.
The only thing I don't
Right.
like about the kitchen,
What?
and I've been in some, we've all been in some pretty big houses. To have to walk around that island all the time would probably drive me nuts. That is a big island.
I will walk around the
and
island.
then and then trying to clean it. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Sometimes smaller can be a little bit better, I think. But it is beautiful. I love the
Yeah,
white. I love the style for sure.
you don't cook enough then. For women, it's never enough counter
Really.
space. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Doa, hi Scott, where do we find the story? Will it be? It's at that. You can access the link to this at listingsleads.com/open house. I got links to this and the training on how to do it. All right. So that first one could have been Wednesday. The second one we just looked at could have been the Tuesday post. This third one could be the Thursday or Friday post. So right, open house in Folsom. I got a little video, and don't overcomplicate the ideas of reels. One of the most popular, I think, TikToks or something I ever did. It was like National Pastrami Day, and I was out somewhere, and I was there on purpose because I knew they did the most beautiful pastrami sandwiches, and the guy just happened to be out in front smoking the pastrami, and all I did was very similar to this. I just took my phone and I videotaped it like this with him, doing the cooking on the grill that he had going
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you don't have to overcomplicate it. I mean, and that got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of views and comments, and people liked it. So you don't have to overthink it. The key is to just get something going with it, because as you get more comfortable posting, then you're going to be like, well, then, because internally you're going to be thinking, well, why don't I just get in there at some point? And then you're going to be tipping your toes into it. You're going to be a little bit nervous. And then you're going to say, well, maybe I don't look so ridiculous on camera, and maybe I'm more comfortable than I thought I was on camera. But if you didn't start with something simple as easy as this, then you're never going to get to the next phase of your social media growth, especially with video, reels, stories, and things like that. Again, here you can see we got another poll. So if you're on the desktop, I can't interact with the poll, but of course on my phone I can. And you can see here, can you see yourself living here? And at the training that you can access from the listingsleads.com/open house, I've got 5 or 6 different poll ideas for you on different days of the week. And you can just literally repeat that every single week. Here's another example. All right. We're offering the free ultimate guide to buying a home download.
Mm-hmm.
People click it right from their phone. They go to the landing page. They can download the guide, right? Name, email, phone number, and the guides are all branded to you. So if you're, for example, maybe you're not a client and you're just watching this, those guides, as soon as you sign up and you go through the Get Started Wizard, and for any client that's with us, same with you, all of these guides, your colors, your brand font, your brand logo, your picture, all your contact information is on every page of all 80 plus guides that we've got for you. And then here we got another poll. And again, just a simple video, right? I don't have to overly complicate this and figure out, all right, what I'm going to say and the script and everything. Just
Right.
do a little walkthrough video and you'll be good to go.
Yeah. If somebody's video shy, and a lot of us are, so just have that video right there, panel view, and then with the poll will be the easiest way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about how I'm gonna look in the video.
Right. Exactly. And again, someone just asked, they said, can you give us that domain? Let me pop it into the chat as well. So let me put that there. listingsleads.com/open house. Going forward, if I refer to that again, I'm just going to say /open house. It's too much of a I got braces, so it's too hard to say that over and over again. And I'm getting them off in July. I can't wait. Oh my God. I've had them on for a year and a half. I needed them because my bottom teeth were whatever, but regardless. And so at this page right here, as I referenced earlier, it's a great walkthrough on the open house marketing, open house mastery. And as you scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see right here, Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, YouTube Shorts.
Mm.
Here, this top link will go to the Instagram page that we were just looking at. This will go to more training on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And this will walk you through how to do a poll. So if you don't know how to do a poll or add links to Instagram, that'll walk you through that. And then how to do a poll on TikTok. So again,
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
can take the same images and I can take the same video. You know what I like to do? I like to do TikTok first. So if you do TikTok, then you can, after you post it, you can download the video and then you can upload, or the image or whatever you've got going on. Then you can upload it to Instagram and YouTube. From Instagram, you can go right over to Facebook automatically from the Instagram post, and customize it on each platform. So make sure you don't post to Instagram with a TikTok watermark. You want to make sure you don't do that. But
Very good. Very good tip.
yeah, exactly. So there you go. So again, on the dashboard, far right, there's a column right here, social media database, geopharmaceutical prospecting checklists. And it's the second one down for both the guide that we were just referencing and the checklist itself. With that, let's go to listings. And
Scott,
we're going
before we go, I don't think you talked about like how to pick a listing. There's some agents out there probably don't have an active listing right now. They have to go
yeah.
ask the broker for borrow one from the office.
Yeah, or even worse, kind of worse almost, is the agents that do have a listing and it's not selling. And in fact, I had a client with this maybe a couple of months ago. We had this issue, and he kept doing open houses every week on the same listing. And by the fourth or fifth week, it was like just crickets. So even if you got a list, you may have a great listing, but you can only do so many open houses before you just tap out on any benefit that you're going to get from it. Maybe if you do, after the first couple, you give it, if it hasn't sold, maybe every 3 or 4 weeks, because the new buyers are always coming in and people may want to come back and see it again because they couldn't find another home. And they're like, well, we kind of like that one. And they come back to it. But to do a same listing every single week can start really have diminishing returns after the second or third time, or, every market will be a little bit different, but just pay attention to that.
Right.
So as far as the open house, though, this works even if it's not your listing. So first of all, if you don't have a listing, if you're a brand new agent, everything we're going to do here for the most part, you can do on a borrowed listing. And to the point of, how do I select an open house? Try to pick an open house for a property that is in the meat of the market. All right. So that, I don't want to go too high in luxury. I don't want to go to a $4 million house, because you're getting a lot of looky-loos that aren't serious about buying. And, if that expensive listing has already been in the market for, sometimes 3 or 4 or 5, 6 months, right, until they sell. And as a new agent, you might get tricked into holding that open, and you're sitting there all day long with, no visitors, because everyone's already seen that property. So try to get a listing that either hasn't had an open house yet or hasn't had one in a couple of weeks, that is in the meat of the market, that's easy to get to. So we don't want to do something, 17 miles away or in a gated community, or even, be careful about condo buildings where it may be difficult to park and find and get through the elevators and down the hall, right? We want to be just aware of all that kind of stuff. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more once we get into the open house mastery, where I talk about that exact topic a little bit more.
Okay.
Now, if it's your listing, or if the listing came in from a data feed, you'll have it in your account. If not, you can grab it by clicking the green add listing button and then grab listing. In fact, Craig, I think, called that the magic button. And if you just put in the zip code and MLS ID number there and click grab, and either check or uncheck that for your listing or not, that's going to pull the listing in for you, all the pictures, all the details, everything about it. If the open house was marked in the MLS, the open house information should come in automatically as well. And then, excuse me, once the listing is in your account, and give me a second here, my browser pop it up a little bit, bring it over. I was kind of bleeding off the edge a tiny bit. Give me a second. Let me refresh that. So if your listing is in your account and you don't have the open house set for it, all you have to do is there's a tab on the right-hand side. So you'll see I've got the open house set right there, and that's the open house indicator. But if it's not there, right here, so add open house, you got the date, you got the time, and you can even add another one if you need to. So you can have, Saturday, Sunday open house, maybe it's a Friday and a Saturday open house, whatever it's going to be. And once you see that, all the open house marketing tools are created automatically for you. So I'm going to click the green market listing button. Here, this banner, I'm going to click it just to show you, but we'll go back to it later just to show you there. If I click it, that's going to take you to our open house mastery training. So we'll look at that a little bit later. Again, here's that guide, right? / open house.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the checklist again, just in case you missed it on the homepage or the dashboard. And the first thing that we're going to do is a Facebook and Instagram ad. So make sure you check out that link at our blog, listingsaleads.com/blog, and I put the link into the chat, but you might be watching this on a recording later, where I walk through, right, how to do a Facebook ad that gets results. Because there's some things that people do that, are a little bit take away from the effectiveness of these ads.
Right.
And I'm going to mention them, although I'm not going to walk through here because, again, that video is at the link I shared earlier. But we're going to have our location is going to autofill for the listing. Don't add any more locations unless you're going to add more budget. Otherwise, your ad spend is spread out too thin.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lifetime budget of $35. Now we need to increase that. And if you saw the video or watch it later with Craig on how to 8 to 14x your ROI from Facebook ad spend, you got to put enough gas in the engine to get to where you're going. And $35 is just the bare minimum that Facebook requires, but you need more. All right, you really need $50 minimum. And Craig has found a lot of success at the $50 mark. When I run ads for a client, we do $100. I won't even talk to a client that's not going to do $100 a week, because I know you're just not going to get enough leads in the door, and you're going to start really focusing on every lead in such minutia that, if you get a bad phone number or they don't return your phone call, you're going to get so bent out of shape because you've only got 1 or 2 leads coming in, every day or two. And that's not a good business model, right? So $50 minimum.
Yeah.
The ad's going to run for 1 week. Now, here's the thing. Our open house is on the 18th or whatever it is. So I want it to end after the open house. So I'm going to, whether it's Sunday or Saturday, and then here it says 5:36, but the open house is from 11 to 1 or 11 to 2, whatever it's going to be. So I'm going to change that
to 2 p.m.
Yeah, just to something like that. Yeah, so maybe 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 1:51 is absolutely fine. I've got the default text, the default image. I can change this if I want to. Most of the ads that perform the best, and all the ads that I run for our clients, where I'm kind of helping manage them, including the post that I made in the mastermind group, how I did that ad last night for the video.
Mm-hmm.
Within 16 hours, 12 leads at $1.86 or something each.
Yeah, $1.82.
$1.82. And he's already connected with one buyer, had a great conversation. They're looking to buy in the next 30 days, and he is off and running with it. Another ad using our default text, our default image, $1 million listing appointment yesterday as well. So one of the other ads we're running, and it's a buyer ad for an active listing. He got a listing appointment from it because the buyer lead came in, had a conversation. Maybe he found out ahead of time, or he found out while talking that they had a home to sell, got a listing appointment from a lead that came in on an active listing.
Okay,
so with that, go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. So since this Facebook ad is very powerful, do you recommend agents run 2-week period if they have the budget?
They can.
Like, what's your
Excuse me. We got
like?
clients that will do that, but for the open house, you're just going to run it till the end of the until the end of the open house.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, what I meant is like 2 weeks beforehand.
No, I
No.
wouldn't. No,
Okay.
I wouldn't run it over a weekend when you're not having the open house. I would wait till Monday.
Okay.
But again, Wednesday is absolutely fine. So if you've got an open house this weekend, I would say tonight is really, unless it's on a
Deadline.
Sunday and you run the ad starting tomorrow morning, tomorrow midday, because a 3-day ad is about the minimum. And if you're going to do a 3-day ad, you could do like $30 for 3 days, so $10 a day. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do $5 a day for 3 days. Again, you're not going to get anything from it. It's really going to be just a waste of your time and your money to do that. Because sometimes if you spend too little money, you're wasting your money, right?
Right.
I know it feels kind of like weird to think, well, if I spend more money, why is that better? Well, it's better because Facebook will find out more of who to show the ad to. You're going to get more leads coming in. Typically, the leads will be cheaper. But again, don't think that ads live on their own separately from other ads. Watch that live that we did last night if you didn't, to learn how to have a successful ad strategy, right? It doesn't take, hey, some people they run the first ad ever, they get a lead, the lead converts within a couple of days. Those success stories are out there, but they are so anecdotal. They are so
Mhm.
outside the norm that
Yeah.
when I see coaches and trainers try to tout that as some sort of like, oh yeah,
The norm, but it's
my
not. It's
students,
not. Yeah.
yeah, of course that can happen, but for the other 95% of us, I want to make sure your expectations are proper,
Yeah.
right, with how the Facebook ads work. So make sure you watch that video.
Yeah.
With that,
Oops.
that took way too long to get that create ad button clicked. By default, this will be a Facebook lead ad. It will capture name, email, phone number, and purchase time frame. And again, remember, about half of these buyer leads are going to have a home. Now,
Right. Right.
before we get to the social media post, let me just say, as you're generating leads, the lead detail page in Listings to Leads will have a more button in the upper right hand side. And if you click it, there are some options. Search name on Google, search email on Google, search phone on Google. You may have another program that does this as well. And take advantage of that, because again, when the lead comes in with name, email, and phone number, you can find out very quickly, well, do they own a home? Because if you do the search email on Google, search phone on Google, and just start looking through some of those links that are returned to you, and you're going to find out like, oh, Scott Pierce lives in this home address, and then you look up the home address and you find out that Scott Pierce is the owner of it. Well, hello, Scott Pierce. I'm gonna call you up, and I might send you a postcard. All right, so let's take a look at. Let's see if we can find. There we go. Perfect. So, that's not the open. This is the ad, though. This is the ad that I ran yesterday. No, it's
Oh,
not.
that's
Actually,
the one that.
this is the ad that generated the listing appointment for him.
No,
So that's
are you sure?
yeah,
Belmont Street? Okay.
yeah. The one I did last night was the palm tree with the white driveway.
Mm-hmm.
This is the other listing that we got going for him. And again, we're spending $100 a week on each ad. So he's got 2 ads running, $100 a week each. And oh my God, he's generating so many leads, like at $2 a lead.
That's awesome.
And again,
Yeah.
he's already got a listing appointment from it. And it's only been like, a week or two that no, actually this is like 2 or 3 weeks we've been running. We do like a week, we take a week off. And if it hadn't sold, then we'll run it again. And this listing is actually performing so well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get those listings that no matter what you do, they're just not great for whatever reason. This listing right here is absolutely killing it. So, but the open house ad will work very similar, except it will
Mhm.
say open house, and people click, what's your time frame to buy, right? Whatever, hit continue, name, email, phone number. They click through. They're going to go to the single property website. You get the lead, and again, start following up. Whether you do a 3x3, whether you do a 2x2, but the worst thing that you can do is call and email, get no response, and then get all mad and call it a bad lead. there's more bad follow-up than there are bad leads. Put it that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, generate leads is easy, right? It's the follow-up.
Yeah, well, and also generating leads cost effectively,
Effectively.
right? You can generating leads is easy, but at what cost? So we want to do it
Well,
both easily and cost effectively,
yeah,
right? That's one of the things that Ben was talking about the other day with us on one of his videos where he's like, yeah, lead generation is easy, but doing it cost effectively and easily, that's not always easy. So that's where listings to leads comes in.
yeah. Can
All right.
can I say something? For
Mhm.
those of you who just sign up for listing studies, you might not know. For our Facebook ads, Google ads, we don't have any surcharges. So whatever your ad spend is 100% goes towards your ads. So this
Yeah.
is very important. Okay, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, there are vendors
Really
out there that I
competitive and
know of
yeah,
that actually charge like a 10 to 15%
for
on
sure.
the budget that you're spending, which is absolutely, we don't make any money on your ad spend. So you could spend $10,000 and
Get a
from that,
penny.
I don't really care. I don't really
Yeah,
care because
right.
I don't make, I care for your success and I want you to do well, but I don't care from the point of view of, oh, I make more money because you spent more. No, that's not the case.
In
All right.
some cases, we don't want you to spend more because we have discovered the most cost-effective way of running certain ads. So
Yeah,
you
and,
have
I,
to
and
spend
that's
more.
why if you can spend $50 a week, that's the best starting point to work from. And then, as you start generating more leads, and as those
Mhm.
leads start closing, we got other tips that we talked about last night in the video about, if the ad is performing well, you can actually add budget to a currently running ad. If an extended out. So if you got an ad that's running that's doing really well, you can go into the edit and listings to leads, add some more budget, add some more time to the ad. So it goes from, $50 in 1 week, but it'll keep running for an extra week for another $50. So Ben's one of the people that does that, and he'll do that for 2 to 3 weeks, and he'll just let an ad run until the cost per lead is too high, like $5. Then he'll turn it off. Alternatively, if you have an ad that is performing badly, uh, just follow the stuff that we talked about in that video. Otherwise, I'd be here all day talking about, do's and don'ts of ads, and we covered that last night.
Yeah.
For the
Okay,
social
let's
media
keep going.
post,
Yeah.
we got Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Google. All right, so these are automated, but if for whatever reason you need to, click post now, schedule, connect, edit the image if you want to, and yeah. Yeah. Hey, for any support things, just I would go to support, right? I'm not going to be able to discern what your problem may be with a particular link or something. So make sure support at listingstoleads.com. Get with them. They'll be, of course, ready to help you. They're gone now, but like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time, I believe, every day. And they'll take care of you for sure. Now, the next item up is share on seller social media. This is so important. This is so key. This is such a great, in fact, Dustin Fox, the guy who wrote this book, 6 Weeks to Real Estate Success, one of our like 15-year clients. This tool, he came to me a couple of years ago. And he's like, Scott, he goes, oh my God, I can't believe it. I had a seller ask me about something to post on their Facebook page, and I knew you had that tool, but I never used it because I thought it was kind of goofy or just, whatever. And I sent it to my seller. I got buyers and a listing from it. And this can happen all the time. So
Yeah.
if you are the listing agent, make sure you click the green send to seller button. All right. Add the seller's email and name. So if there's a couple of emails, you can add them like that. Click send, and I will show you what that looks like here. Let me look at my other monitor, and I'm going to bring up this email, and there we go. So check this out, and we're actually going to post it, and you'll see what it looks like. So the sellers are going to get this email. You are going to get a version of this email as well. Now the seller is going to think you sent it to them, and what you're going to do is you're going to call the seller up, right? And again, this is for listing agents only, not for selling agents, or not for agents that borrow the listing.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the version that the listing agent will get. That'll have your name on top. So that's me, Scott. Let me know that my sellers got the email, but it's the email to the seller, right? Dear Ian and Lauren. We're just asking them to put this on their Facebook page. And once we get our copy of it, you're going to call the seller up and you're going to say something like, hey, Ian, this is Scott. Want to let you know we're doing a lot of great marketing for the open house this weekend. It's on realtor.com. It's on Zillow. I got a Facebook ad that should be live here very shortly. It's on our other social media platforms as well. But I sent you something to put on your Facebook page because in this crazy market, we don't want to leave any stone unturned. And you likely know people who know people that would love to buy a home in the area if they found something that was perfect for them. And so if you could drop that on, if you could copy and paste that to your Facebook page, that would help us get more eyeballs on your property. Because then what you're doing is you're letting the seller know that, hey, I'm doing all this other great marketing. There's other marketing I'm going to be doing. And when the seller sees how great this looks, right? It looks great. And all they have to do is just copy and paste. So they copy. So I just copied it. Now I'm going to go to my Facebook page. And just like a seller would, I'm going to drop that in there. And again, I got different templates that we can use, but check this out. Now, all the seller's friends are going to see the post. They're going to start commenting. What I would do as the agent is I would come in here and I would like it. And I would just say something like, looks beautiful. Now, if you just give the seller a random image or just an image by itself, there's not a lot of value to that. But here's what happens. The seller's friends start clicking through and they get to your single property website, not your IDX. I don't, your agent website is fine, but your single property website showing off how amazing your marketing is, right? So I got a video, right? We got the countdown clock right there. 3D tour, right? All the great stuff right here. So the sellers, the buyers, all of their friends are going to be able to engage, download PDF guides. So the more people we can get to the single property website through our marketing, right, the better we're going to look, but also the more opportunity we have to generate more leads. So let me move that to the trash. I always get my family members start thinking I'm selling the house. And they start calling and emailing like, hey, where are you moving to? So I used to leave those up there for a little bit longer, but not so much.
Can I point out one more thing?
Yeah.
So on the address, check out thebestlisting.com.
Yeah. Well,
it's the address .bestlisting.
Yeah.
When somebody sees it, like, whoa, that's really cool.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. 15amway.thebestlisting.com. Yeah. I mean, even the domain is going to make you look like an awesome rock star. And the post will have your name, your brokerage name on there. And this is completely editable, right? Edit email. So I can come in here and I can edit whether it's the text above the copy post. If I want to change the part that's in the copy post, I can, right? All that great stuff. And I could also send it out, copy code, and I could send it out from Follow Up Boss or KV Core or whatever I want, a Lofty. So I can take this and send it out from my other CRM, my full, my regular CRM if I've got one, and do it that way as well. So a couple of different things you can do there. And the corollary tool with that, or the partner tool, is the eFlyer. So you want to do these both at the same time. So as soon as I do it for the social media post for the seller and I send it out, I'm going to come right here. Normally this should autofill. So the emails and the names are there. If not, just add them again. Click send and do these together. So that way when you call the seller up and you talk about, hey, it's on Zillow, it's on Trulia, it's on realtor.com, and I've got an ad. I got the post out. I'm going to be doing the neighbor invitation here shortly. And I got another short form video that I'm going to be doing tomorrow. And I've got a string of social media postings every day that's already planned out. So we got so much great marketing for your home going on. And if you could just copy and paste that to your Facebook page. And then for the email, just share that email as well. Because again, what do we not want to do? we don't want to leave any stones unturned. We are doing this for the seller's benefit. Now, we are going to benefit as well. They call that a win-win.
Yeah, they don't know. We generate so many leads, but from their perspective, we're doing so many things to market the listing.
Well, that's exactly right, and it looks great. You know, if you got some good professional photos, that's going to cycle through. Right, beautiful. Look at that, how beautiful that is. And it's got your listing lead signature at the bottom right there. Yeah, so do those at the same time, so that way when you call the seller, you can just refer to both something to put on Facebook and then something to share via email. Now, if they don't do it, that's fine. Right, you're not going to get into an argument, but I tell you, more of you will lose opportunity because you didn't do it than than people who won't have the seller do it, because the seller knows, right? Unless you're just in a crazy seller's market, sellers know they know it's a difficult market, so they're going to do everything you say, and they're going to do everything they can to get the home sold. So when you come through and you give that script, you do that like I did in the role play there, they're going to be more than happy to do it. All right, now let's get to this right here. Now, I would still buy the book, 6 Weeks to Real Estate Success, because he talks about this in more depth. But I'm going to give you your bang for the buck right here in this training. This letter, they're just 3 versions of the same letter, different templates and formats, what have you. For the open house, if it's coming up this weekend, for any open house, what I would do is you click download PDF. Now, if this was just listed or just sold, there's other options that I would also recommend as being great ideas as well. But for an open house, I'm not going to mail it. I'm just going to drop it off. I'm going to door knock with it. And this is your invitation to the neighbors. I always see people talk, man, I'll be in a Facebook group and like, yeah, I go door knocking and I invite the neighbors to the open house, but they do it with content and with print material that is not that compelling. This right here is going to get you more seller leads, and use it as an invitation. Now, if you're going to have a neighbors only, you can actually customize and edit this a little bit, or just edit it to be an invitation to a neighbors only. And that's how Dustin used to use it. So I'll show you that in a minute, but just print this up, just print it up, go door knocking. And what I highly recommend, in fact, I will give you the share link for this, because I've done this with an agent a little bit ago, where we went door knocking. So we had 100 of the open house invitations, and we had the bags right here. So notice 100 bags, 100 nearby homeowner letters. And for the people that were home, and she probably talked, there was probably of the 100, and it was funny because we actually had more, there was more bags than 100. So you get like 110 or 120 bags, which is kind of cool. But once we got done with 100 flyers, I think she touched base with probably 10 people or so, had conversations with like 4 or 5 people, like actual conversations with 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
We went door knocking about 11 a.m. on a weekday, and that area worked out really, really well because there was a lot of people walking the dog, and it was a weekday of all things. Who knew? But people walking the dog, people coming in. There's a few people we talked to, or she talked to, that were coming from somewhere else, like they were coming in from the store maybe, or coming in from an errand or whatever they were doing. And they would park their car, and as they're walking, we just happened to be, walking by.
Yeah.
And, there's just something about, and I wish I would have printed up one, but there's just something about handing them this with the script, and you'll see the script in the guide. It's just an invitation. Hi, my name is Scott Pierce, and we're having an open house at 121 Tomlinson Street down, and it's just right there around the corner, Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. And here's an invitation. We'd love to have you come by. You can scan the QR code or send a text to get more information about the property, right? And that can open up. And she had, I'll tell you, it's Carla. You know who Carla is.
Yeah.
And she had, I know, at least 2, maybe 3 conversations that went on for a little longer than I was expecting. Because what I would do is I would stand on the sidewalk and just kind of wait for her. I just wanted to keep her company and just, watch what she was doing, maybe make a few comments to help her get better. Although she's got a lot of great experience with door knocking. She said that's
Yeah.
one of her great lead sources is by door knocking because she wants people to be able to see her. She said,
Right.
she said, I
Exactly.
want people to see my energy and get to know me. And
Mm.
door knocking is such a great way to do that. So, anyways, I recommend buying some of these baggies or whatever you call them. So, if somebody's not home, you can leave it on the door. All right, leave it on the door and not make people have to pick it up off the ground. Right? We don't want to. I've had clients tell me they got yelled at by people for
Oh,
putting it
I'm
in the
sure you
mailbox.
will.
Oh, right.
You're gonna run into some mean people, but I think most people they appreciate. I you know I have
Yeah,
open
well,
doors for realtors,
yeah, and
and I
that's why
think
it's like,
most people do.
yeah, and
And
that's why
it's not.
because it's an open house. I'm not just knocking on your door. Hey, do you want to sell? And hey,
Yeah,
here's the market's crazy. Like seriously, why are you at my door? Like I don't get
but
it. Why are you at my door again?
you're
But
actually giving out information, so
yeah, and it's related to a property right near them.
right.
Right? And you can even say, depending on how long you got a chance to talk to them, if you do, that hey, we're excited to get this home sold, and when it does sell, it's going to affect your home value. And you'll see on this page right here that you can go to the URL, or even when you scan the QR code and get a free home value estimate. Right. So it's just a great, great piece of content to get in the hands of those homeowners around that listing. And
Yeah, but, real quickly, this nearby homeowner letter is the number one ROI
yeah,
item.
definitely.
Okay, for seller leads.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I clicked on the edit icon for this, and I
Mhm.
just wanted to show you, for example, I want to let you know we're having an open house. We're having a NEI neighbors
Preview.
only preview open
Mhm.
house, and maybe you're going to do that on Friday. Dustin likes to do he does a 3-day open house where the Friday is for the neighbors, and then he'll do Saturday and Sunday. And in his book, he talks about how he figured or he thought it might be overkill to do it like that. But in fact, he found out he got more people doing it that way. So the Friday, it's like four, don't quote me, but like 3 to 5 or 4 to 6 or something. So every Friday from 3 to 5, he does the neighbors only preview. And in fact, we are having a catered. So we're having a catered. And of course, you'll spell everything correctly and be absolutely perfect with your penmanship and all of that
Neighbors.
great stuff right there. But you see how I can edit it, make it more personal, make it more engaging for people. Don't don't create a reading assignment for people. All right, I've seen people do that. Like, oh my, they feel like they got to get so much into the letter, and all you're doing is you're actually killing your engagement. All right, you're
Right.
killing the action that people will take. So here we go. We'll let you know we're having a catered neighbors only preview open house at 15 Ambient Way, Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. So now this becomes something even a little bit more special. But even if you're not doing the neighbors only, you're just doing the Saturday 1 to 4, Sunday 12 to 3, or whatever it is, use it as an invitation so that those neighbors feel just a little bit special, like you're trying to take care of them as neighbors to your client. And here's what would be best. You're doing a good job. The neighbor sees the homeowner and they go, oh, yeah, your agent or somebody came by and they gave me this piece of paper inviting me to the open house. The homeowner's going to feel good about it because they're going to know you're doing your job, right? You're doing, above and beyond what most people do.
Mhm.
The neighbor is going to probably get some good words from that homeowner about you, right? Oh yeah, Scott is great, and he's got these Facebook ads out there, and his presentation is amazing, and he's just a great agent. So it's creating more opportunity for people to talk about you that otherwise never would have.
Yeah, you wanna turn yourself into a neighborhood household name,
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
right?
exactly right. So Doa says, where do you get the bags to leave the flyer on the door? It's at Amazon, and I'm sorry, I just closed it. But if you go to Amazon, and in fact, I've got a link at our open house training to it, or open house mastery. But at Amazon, if you just Google door hanger clear bag, you'll come up with them, and you should be able to get them for about like $10 or 100 of them, and you'll actually get, with the one I ordered, I got like between 110 and 120 bags. Yeah. All right. Doa says, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. So this would be the just listed nearby homeowner letter. Yes. So Doa, every time I change the status of a listing, so just listed, active, open house, pending, and just sold, the letter, along with all of the other marketing material, changes a little bit. So, it's the same letter in a sense, but it's different now because it's an open house, and so the language and everything around that is different from what it would have been at just listed or active, and then again at pending and just sold. All right, real quickly, we got postcards and door hangers. Not a lot of application for an open house, right? Door hangers typically take about a week or so to get mailed and delivered, so that's not going to really work for most of you, and it's just more expensive, right? Here's postcards. Again, that would be something more appropriate for your pendings, your just solds, your just listeds, maybe coming soon. We got a circle prospecting script. Cindy says, do you recommend putting the date and time of the open house? The day, yes. The date and time, no. So for the ad, great question, Cindy. And again, you can play with it all you want, but what I recommend is just like Sunday 1 to 4, right? Don't put Sunday, the May 15th from 1 to 4. Just so the day and time. So Sunday 1 to 4 p.m. And that way, like you said, people are going to click. So they're like, oh, wait, which Sunday is it again? And they're not going to feel like you left something out, but they're going to be like, to them in their own mind, they're going to be like, oh, like, was it last Sunday or this Sunday? Click, you got a lead. All
right. Smart. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next up is the e-flyer for your database. We just had a client I was talking to, just absolutely loves the return they get on these. So this is your e-flyer to announce the open house. Again, this is a beautiful e-flyer. It's going to be probably better than what you've got from your IDX or your MLS. You can customize it. You can add to it. You can edit it. You can send it out from listings to leads by clicking send now. And I can send it to all of the leads in my listings to leads account right here. And I do recommend sending it to all of your leads, because you are going to have obviously buyer leads, but your seller leads, especially if they're starting to think about selling their home at some point soon, or they're just thinking about, well, we're going to sell later on this year, and oh, there's an open house over there, and that's kind of like our home. And so they may come by, and it would be great for you to invite them to your open house. So I'm going to click, before I do that, right, I'm going to come down here, and I'm just going to make it a little bit more personal. I just want to the house. I click edit. All right, so edit email. And I may just say, I want to personally invite you to come over and see how this home looks, right? Or whatever it is that you think is appropriate for you. And now I can, again, send it to all of my leads in listings to leads, or like the other e-flyers, click copy code. And I've got Follow-Up Boss up already. And in Follow-Up Boss, you just navigate to where you're going to go send the email. Here, I'm going to click Insert HTML. You see all these icons up here along the top. The one on the far right in Follow-Up Boss says Insert HTML. Paste. All right. Follow-Up Boss is a little different than some of the other ones. They're all a little bit different. Replace HTML. And that came in from the previous one that we just had. So I'll just delete it. Boom, bada bing. Beautiful. Look at that. And that slideshow still stays, even if you go to Follow-Up Boss, KV Core, Real Geeks, Lofty, Sierra. So any of those platforms, it's going to look this beautiful. Right? Isn't that gorgeous? And look at that.
Yep.
Right.
For those of you, we have integration with all CRMs. So
Yes.
all you need to do just copy the code, insert it, and
Yep.
there might be little tricks here and there. But if you run into any issues, whatever reason your e-flyer is not looking good, just email support and they will take care of you.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
overall there's not. It's just very straight copy and paste, right?
Yeah, just copy and paste.
Yeah.
And also, to the point about being integrated is, make sure in your listings to leads profile, you've got your leads going into your account. Oh my
Mm.
God. I said a client the other day, he's like, Scott, he goes, as I noticed he had all of his leads going to both Follow Up Boss and Real Geeks. We're talking about something. And I said, well, why do you have your leads going to Follow Up Boss and Real Geeks? He's like, he goes, I haven't used Real Geeks in years. And he goes, and Follow Up Boss, he goes, I haven't really logged into that in a few months. I'm like, so why are you sending leads there? And I'm like, well, what are you using now? And he goes, well, I'm using Lofty. He's with LPT. And he goes, well, I use Lofty. I'm like, well, why didn't you connect to Lofty? We have a connection with Lofty. So, you just go to your profile, right in the far left-hand side, scroll down a little bit, you'll see profile. Click it. There's another tab called CRM integration. We got direct integrations with quite a few people, quite a few CRMs. We've also got API Nation. We've also got Zapier, a lot of pre-built Zaps, Lead Connector. So if you're using Go High Level, we got in fact, the very first one is Go High Level, and it's called Lead Connector. So you can get your leads into any CRM out there. I think I've never heard of a CRM that I can think of right now that you can't get your leads to. So if you are using Lofty, Sierra, Brivity, right, whatever it is, you can get your leads to that so that you're not having to copy and paste or whatever. They just go right in and they get attached to a action plan, and the follow-up starts happening automatically. Right. Most of our clients use
Yeah.
a program like KV Core or Lofty or Sierra or Boomtown or Real Geeks or Luxury Presence, right? We have clients that use all of these platforms, but they use listings to leads to augment and really power the lead gen to get those leads in there for better follow-up. Scott, you'll just go to the Zap and you'll see right there it's Lead Connector, and the information should be there for it. All right, now your database call script, one of the most important things. And oh my God, did you realize it's 6:00? I apologize. We got to nail this. We got to get better. We got to get better. I apologize, everybody. I'll try to stay on point and I'll try to get through this. But I'm telling you, we got more things because we're talking about engaging people at the open house. We got sign writers. We're going to be talking about your 100-point home marketing plan and bringing that to the open house. So try to give us another 15 to 20 minutes. And we're going to just bang this out and get so many gold nuggets for you. Database call script, again, you can look up anywhere and you're going to know that your database is one of the keys to your business.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ignore them. Don't get nervous. Don't be shy. All right. Call. I don't care if you got 3 leads in your database. I don't care if you got 300 leads. Try and call, 10 to 20 of them. And all you're doing is you're going to say, and you're going to see here, e-flyer sent. That's one option. E-flyer not sent. Now, I don't know why you wouldn't send the e-flyer. So you're going to send the e-flyer or you're going to have a problem with me. Just a little joke. And here's the script. It's so easy. So I would call, hey, Cindy, this is Scott with L2L Realty. And I want to let you know we're having an open house on Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. at 15 Ambient Way in Folsom. Now, if they live in the area, if you can see they live in the area, reference that. If not, no problem. Then you're going to say, I sent an email to you with the links to the single property website with all the photos and the details. And I just want to make sure you got that. If you didn't, let me know and I'll send it to you again. Or you can text 10006 to 25678, and then you'll automatically get everything sent to you right away. With the way the market is right now, I just want to make sure to let you know about this open house. Now you're going to notice right here, there's 3 options for the ending. Do they own a home in the farm? If they do, or in that same area, then I would wrap it up with, when this home sells, it will affect the value of your home and others around it. Is Cindy@listingtoleads.com the best email to send an updated home value estimate to you after the open house or after the home sells, right? Or tomorrow, right? I just want to confirm your email and offer a home value estimate. And I'm going to make that offer in conjunction with the fact that we're having an open house and that home values will change after the home sells.
Right. You're providing a hook, essentially, so that they will respond to you later.
Right. Exactly right.
Yeah. And use that open house because everybody knows when the house sells, everything's going to change.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
make the conversation a lot more engaging because okay, that makes sense. Okay, so
Yeah, because they know that, but they may not be thinking it consciously. So when you bring it up, it's almost like oh yeah, that's right type of thing. So
yeah,
they're much more receptive.
totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 more endings: owns a home not in the farm area, and then we got buyer leads, how to approach them. So yeah, don't not call your database because you're providing a service, right? You're not bothering them. And if you leave a voicemail, I'll give you half a credit if you leave a voicemail. So if you're leaving voicemails, call 20 to 40 people. But if you're getting them on the phone and actually talking to people, do what you want. But I think 10 to 20 would be great to at least get started with.
Yeah, I know a couple of agents in our system that use the script or the email first and the script and got
Mhm.
2 buyer leads and 1 seller leads from the database because
Oh,
they
wow.
haven't heard from them
Awesome.
in a while. This is like
Yeah.
total engagement. Yeah.
Well, and as you go through all the marketing tools and listing slates, like if you look at the marketing calendar, there's literally something almost every day of the month for you, or every day,
Yeah.
5 days a week. There is a reason we like literally give you reasons to call through your database so that you're not bothering people. So whether it is calling to let them know about cash offer opportunities if they or anybody knows. And I tell you, we've had clients that have connected with sellers that way, where the homeowner was talking to investors and was getting the investor lowball offer, and the agent comes through, talks them, gives them other options about selling directly to buyers, i.e. list your property. But think about how you phrase that, right? How about
Yeah.
instead of selling your house to an investor, we sell directly to a buyer who will pay a really good premium, and if we do it right, we can get a bidding war from buyers, depending on your market, right? Don't lie to people and overpromise and underdeliver. But again, yeah, call through the database. All right. I want to make sure we stay as much on time as possible, even though we're over time. So real quickly, short form video script, free leads. All right. Absolutely free. Record the script. What you're going to do is click send. If you're on your phone, just copy and paste it into a teleprompter app, memorize it, paraphrase it, use it as inspiration, but get this video out the door. Now, this is different than the other ones we looked at. This is meant to be either you do it where you're recording it with you on the phone, or if you wanted to, you could record it where you're not recording you, but you're recording like the home itself. So you can do it either way. If you're more shy, then feel free to just kind of do like a little walkthrough with this script. But if you're a little bit more open to actually being in the video, even if you are nervous or not, then have the camera facing you, and then you record that video.
Can I ask you a question? Why would
Mhm.
this be different? Because we were talking about earlier the short form videos for the open house and when we're doing a poll.
Well, having a mix of video and images is really great because
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean. And here's the thing: only 10% of your audience, if that, right, depending on your account. But not don't think all of my everyone's going to see all of my postings, and so I'm going to bother everybody and everyone's going to get all mad at me because I'm overdoing it. Maybe 10% of the people are going to see your stuff. Now, maybe a few of your best friends are going to see your stuff a little bit more often, but
Mhm.
hey, they're your friends, so you'll be fine.
So
So
basically,
having
you'd never be overdoing it. You just have
it,
to
it
do
would
it. Yeah.
it would be really hard. It
Yeah.
would be really hard. In fact, if you read Jordan Cohen's book, The Agent's Edge, he talks about how important posting to those sites are, because those are the sites that actually get people who are not looking in Zillow. And that's one of the things when we talk about the listing presentation, where we leverage these websites with short form video, with the stories like I talked about, because, buyers are always coming in and out of the market. And, if we just focus on websites like Zillow and Trulia and Listing Alerts, well, all of those
They don't
people who, stop looking for a while, or who aren't really looking, but if the right house came up, they would buy it. And so that's why these things are so important. You're missing a lot of buyer opportunities if you don't do this video, if you don't do those other things. So they're very important. Don't think it's like, oh, well, I have to do it because everybody does it and it's popular. Yeah, that's kind of true as well, I guess. But it's really a way to get into those buyers that are not on the daily looking at Zillow or Realtor.com and so on. All
That's
right.
another reason why Zillow, Realtor.com, or Trulia, they don't convert, right? That's why we have single property websites, we have virtual tours.
Well, yeah, we don't. So yes. So for the open house sign-in form, all right, we got the online version right here,
Yeah.
the paper version, a QR code. And if I click view, all the questions are completely customizable. If I tap, it'll go to the next page. Again, these are all customizable. I'll point this out to you, but I believe this is default. So we say realtor. In fact, this was even an edit somebody said. They said, don't ask if you have a realtor. Just put down here the realtor's name, or I don't. That converts better. Additional feedback. Now, I'm going to show you listing flyers next. But another client was talking recently, and they said, I don't bring any flyers to the open house. I tell them if they want a flyer, they need to sign in, and then the e-flyer will be automatically sent to them, which is absolutely true. So in fact, let me just show you real quick. If I tap this, just streaming, yes, continue. Oh, I don't have a realtor. Continue. All right, name, email, phone number. This, again, all customizable. But notice I'm offering a free PDF guide, 6 things to check before buying a home. So you can use that in the open house mastery training. We talk about, in fact, in the mastermind group, I put this. In fact, in the mastermind group, search for open house script, and you'll see a script about this that essentially refers to the fact that, thank you for coming to the open house. The seller has asked us to make sure everybody signs in for security purposes. And you'll have an opportunity to get my guide, 6 things to check before buying a home, after you fill it out. All right. You'll see here, all the questions are customizable. I can reorder them. I can turn them on and off. I can add new ones. And check this out: short answer, paragraph, checkboxes, radio buttons, drop down. So you have a lot of great functionality and capability and customization that you can do. And then you can even have them, let's see what that looks like. So here they're going to sign in first, and then they'll continue to the other page. You can flip that around however you want to. Now, I just mentioned listing flyers. And again, when they fill out the open house sign-in form, they're going to get the single property website, e-flyer essentially, with the PDF guide in that. All right. Now, listing flyers, like 40 different versions, all with text codes, QR codes.
Can I say something real quick? So not all of you guys have subscribed to Text IVR, but it's very important to have that. So
I think so.
Yeah, I think they convert really well. But
Yeah,
well,
and
for people who are on the old package, you have to sign in as an add-on service. So making sure you do have that. I just want to mention this.
Yeah. Now you do have the ability to download the QR code. So if you want to go to Canva, make your own listing flyer or whatever you're doing, you have access to the QR code. I would also use the domain. So again, here, 15ambientway.thebestlisting.com. And also I would use the text code, because I want to give people as many opportunities as possible to connect with me. So that's the listing flyer. And then sign writers, make sure, get your open house. It's not too late. All right. Stop by your MLS association tomorrow. Stop by your association tomorrow. Grab one of these and get Get all of them, right? Get your pendings, right? Get the pending, get the open house, get your just listed, because when you change this and you put it up on the top arm of the sign writer, you're going to get more attention from homeowners driving by, walking by, running by, whatever they're doing. And then you make sure you've got one of these, all right, below the arm, above the main part of that yard sign.
Mm-hmm.
And we got more training on this, but that right there is enough. So again, open house on the top, and then get the sign writers here and make sure, because it's such a great way to generate leads. These are some of the highest quality leads that come in, both on the buy and sell side. Some of the cheapest, because this might be $20. The status writer, like six, or even in California, is like $7 or $8. I'm sure other places probably cheaper, or can't be more expensive. And you can reuse them. So this extension, when this property finally sells, or again, if I'm holding a open house for somebody, and the next week I have a different listing, I can swap extensions so that I just take that sign writer and I just move it from house to house to house.
Yeah. You know how
So very,
crazy
very
I was
powerful.
going through 5 open houses last weekend. I did not see one sunwriter.
Oh, I know. It kills me. I mean, it literally, it absolutely just kills me.
I don't know why agents don't do that. I really don't know. So please, 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 this is the easiest and the cheapest way. Please.
Yeah. I mean, when I was an agent, sign writers, even when I was an agent, sign writers, they were hit or miss. But I'm telling you, I'll never forget the one time we were hanging out on a Sunday, and we were not too far from the listing, and it wasn't an open house, but it was just a condo. And I'd had open houses, but it wasn't at this point.
Yeah.
Oh no, in fact, it was after the open house. All right, that's what it was. So after the open house, we went to like a little lunch place to get some lunch. And
Mhm.
while we're eating lunch, I get a notification, right? Somebody sent me a text. So I call them back, and they'd gotten to the open house late, right? They were like so apologetic. I'm like, no problem, no problem. You're just 5 minutes away. I'll be right there. Give me a few minutes. Call the seller. Hey, do you mind? Okay, no problem. They were so appreciative that I worked with them, and it was, oh my God, what was that guy's name?
Right.
Uh,
Somebody.
Man, Mike's friend, the big guy. You may not remember who he was, but 5 other deals came from it, because he was it was one of those things where he was like the first of his friends that bought a place, and it was
Mm,
such a beautiful, like 2-level condo. It was
loft.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And so all of his friends had to buy a place after he did. And so, I mean, there was like 5 transactions in a row within like 6 or 7 months, with all of his friends going, oh, well then, oh, you bought, and then he bought, and then she bought a place. And then like, oh my God, then the next one to come up. Oh my God, I want to get a place. And it was all from that sign writer.
Wow.
Absolutely. And I did a survey, and 50% of people can attribute getting listings or buyers from a sign writer. And I would guess the other 30% just didn't remember. All right. Because I know they convert. And hey, even if you only get one transaction a year from a sign writer,
That's
the thing costs $20. The status is like for $28. I can reuse these over and over and over again for the whole year.
yeah.
So they're going to be awesome for you. And it's one of those things in the listing presentation, when you are the only agent that talks about how the fact that you've got sign writers, you're going to get more listings signed, right? What's a sign writer? Well, what's a sign writer? All right, let me see here. In fact, if you go right there, you see that right there, that yard sign. So the bottom part, in fact, let me make that just a little bit bigger. Hold on a second.
I'm glad we're talking about this.
Yeah, exactly. So let me just scroll down. All right, so this is the yard sign. So the yard sign is typically the vertical post, the horizontal arm, and then that part where it talks about like, carton, mark carton, whatever, that kind of the big frame. That's the yard sign. This right here, that's the status writer. So open house, just listed, pending. And then here, this is the part I'm referring to. All right. See where it says text? Well, that is the same as this. And for most of you, what I would do is I would actually download this and I would send it to my local sign writer company and just have them make it for me, because that way they're local. They're going to have my They'll have it on file. So if I ever need to get it, I can get it from them real quickly. Alternatively, you can go here and click for dirt cheap signs and order it from them as well. Either way, just do it and get it done. All right. So we've got all the marketing done for the listing, or we did the ad, the post, the e-flyer to the seller, the social media post for the seller. We did the nearby homeowner letter. We're inviting everybody to either the open house or to a neighbor preview. We called through, or we did, if you know,
Database.
well, and I don't know if I mentioned Circle Prospecting Script, but if you do use RedX, My Plus Leads, Prospect Boss, and you can get phone numbers, Circle Prospect. My God, why would you not Circle Prospect? Again, hey, want to let you know we're having an open house right around the corner from you on Sunday. And I dropped off some invitations to the neighbors, and I hope you got one. But if you didn't, I want to make sure that I do get you one. So you can either text me at 1006-25678 and get all the information sent to you, or just let me know and I'll get an invitation to you. When this home sells, it will affect home values around it, including yours. So if you'd like, I can get you a home value update to your home. And again, if you're using Redx, you're probably going to have their email. And so here's what I would do. I would confirm their email wrong. So if their email was Cindy, let's say it's Scott@Snyder.com, I might, again, it's Redx, so you're going to have, the email. And I might say, and if I can confirm, that would be Scott at, looks like SYNDER. Is that correct? Even if it's on a voicemail. All right. Even if you send a text like that, and they're going to come out, no, it's SNYDER. Okay, perfect. I'll get the home value invite to you, or I'll get the home value estimate to you tomorrow, right, when I'm in the office and I'm doing them for all my VIP clients. Make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
All right.
Very good. Good.
All right. Do I have any questions that are outstanding, i.e., haven't answered yet? I think we got them all. Last thing I'm going to mention, I feel like there's something else I have forgotten.
Well, we didn't talk about preparing open house.
Yeah, we're going to do that right now here. So if you go to marketing calendar, so right here, marketing calendar, there are 3 tabs across the top. There's marketing calendar that we saw. There's resources. So a lot of great resources right here. And that's where the mastermind group is. And then the middle one, presentations, real estate mastery, intro, open house. With open house, there's the checklist, the guide, and the guide is so good. The guide is where you're going to see links to a lot of the things in the presentation. So if I open the guide, it's 39 pages. Holy cow, 39 pages. Anyways, I'm not going to scroll all the way through it because you can take a look at this later. I wouldn't print it. It's a lot to print. But this is the summary. This is like the PDF version of this right here. So this is and if you're a coach, if you're a broker, a lender, a title officer, and you're looking for lunch and learn content to help train agents, or you're a team leader and you want your agents to get better at open houses, this hands down probably the best in the industry, because I spent, and I still do, but for this in particular, I just spent months and months, and that's after 15 years of working with agents. But I spent months because I wanted to go through like literally hundreds of videos, PDFs, case studies, different groups, everything I could, think of. And I took the best of the best. A few of the coaches that we work with, I got some input from them as well. And so I won't go through all of this, but I really want to make sure that you do. In fact, I'll hang out for another 5 to 10 minutes. If you want to leave, go ahead and leave, and that you can watch the recording later on YouTube or Facebook. But again, open houses, they work for your listing or not. Repeat weekly, not for the same listing weekly, but find another good open house. All right. A lot of leads, and they convert fast. And the whole goal here is we don't want to be that wallflower agent. We don't want to be the agent when they leave, they had no clue who the world we are. So we're going to create an unforgettable experience. And right. So I'm going to go a little bit quick here. All right. We want to create conversations, position yourself as the expert for more buyers and sellers. and create more listing opportunities. Susan, the Open House Mastery is when you click the Marketing Calendar tab, you will see this under the second tab called Open House Mastery. Right, I'll navigate to it again here in a minute. All right, Jared James, right? Great quote. 72% of people work with the first realtor they have a conversation with. So that's why the more open houses you do, the more you do the open house mastery here, you're going to create conversations. All right, you will create more conversations, and you will go from that 2-hour waste of your time watching YouTube videos to actually having people come through and talking to them. All right, great quote. Visibility trumps ability. You can have all the ability in the world, but if nobody sees you, if they don't see your marketing, and then if they see your marketing and come to your open house and you're not doing it right, they're just going to walk out. And what do you got? Right? You wasted your time. A little bit to Yi had asked this question earlier about picking the open house. This is very key. All right. Who is your buyer and seller avatar? If you're a newer agent, stay away from the super high end. All right. If you're, whatever, but what is your buyer seller avatar? And you want to go hard on that as much as possible. Right. Again, the meat of the market, right? Average price point or whatever price point is really hot and what's moving, what has a good turnover. We mentioned about not doing it in a hard to get area. A little bit here. And again, you can come back to this later. And Susan, I'll make sure to show you exactly where this was, but information about borrowing a listing. This is a summary of the open house marketing that we've already done. So this is walking through the ad, the post, the seller, email, and social media post, the nearby homeowner letter, right? The postcards or door hangers, which, for an open house, I wouldn't do. But the sign writer, listing flyers, right? E-flyer for your database, short form video script, right? So look how much stuff is here. It's absolutely crazy. Talk a little bit about neighborhood exclusive, right? Do 1 to 3 days before the public open house. Use the nearby homeowner letter to prospect and invite the neighbors to it. Mm-hmm. Right? A little script. I'm not going to go through this right now. Take a look at that a little bit later. And that's essentially the circle prospecting script, but customized for a neighbors only preview. And make sure either you promote. Oh, I'm sorry. Ask if you're borrowing a listing, ask the seller or ask the listing agent if they could have the seller post the single property website on Nextdoor. And if you're the listing agent, ask your seller to put it on Nextdoor. Again, more neighbors are going to see us. All right. Very good stuff right there. And if you're doing a neighbors only preview, if the seller wants to, maybe ask the seller to mention the fact that, from Friday from 3 to 5, it'll be a neighbors only preview. Right. Get more people to it. Invite your database. We talked about this as well. Mm-hmm. Right. Just the script. I've already role played that script a little bit earlier. But here's the key right here. Pay attention to this part. All right. People do business with who they know, like, and trust. First impressions, shortest path, right? Want the shortest path to know, like, and trust. And we're going to do that by over delivering and creating a beautiful experience. So we're going to have handouts, the listing flyer, a neighborhood guide or chat summary, open house feedback sign-in form, right? We saw the sign-in form earlier. And I tell you what's interesting is I have talked to luxury real estate agents that use the paper version of it because they just don't like,
I don't like signing on a tab.
Yeah, I don't either. I would, but the one thing I will say is if you're going to do a paper sign-in, print 20 to 30, whatever it is that you think is appropriate, and maybe have the iPad or a laptop as a backup if you need to. Always hide and put away a completed sign-in form. Oh my God. Do not leave a sign-in form that is filled out laying in public, because the next person that comes along and they see that Scott Pierce at 415 blah 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 and his email and his replies is just laying there for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to see, that's not going to make you look that good. So anytime somebody fills out the paper version, if you go that route, always put it not under the pile. That's just as bad as leaving it out. So put it somewhere else, like in a drawer or in a folder or a
Yeah.
notebook, so that it's like out of sight from everybody else and a little bit more secure.
Hmm.
A pen, a printout of all the other open houses and listings in the area. A great tip from a client. She said she only has one, she'll bring only one copy of number 5. And then that is something else that she will make sure that for the people that signed in, she'll just say, hey, you know what? This is my last copy and I really got to keep it so that I can at least talk about it with other people. But I got your email and, is that your right phone number? And if it's not, make sure I get your right phone number so that I can send it to you and make sure that you get it. So again, the little pro tip there is for number 5 about the printout for open houses and listings in the area, just bring one copy and that will help you engage people a little bit further offline after the open house. Right? Learn about the home, learn about the neighborhood, the community, the HOA if there is one, the grocery store, the schools, the parks, be an expert in the area and the other activity going on. All right. This is, again, when I was an agent, this is actually the kind of stuff I didn't really appreciate. But I'll tell you again, in his book, 6 Weeks to Real Estate Success, Dustin talks about he does the flags and balloons. In fact, he said he does brand color balloons. So whatever your brand, your Cindy, what company are you with? You might be with Remax, you might be with Coldwell Banker or EXP or LPT. Arrange if you're going to do the balloons and the flag as well, but get your brand colors. That's going to look so sharp. It's going to look really, really good. All right. Just like in a video, we want to have a little bit of excitement and energy. We don't want to be ridiculous, but we don't want to be low energy. So make sure, right, with all of the stuff that we're going to do here and your attitude, right, that we got excitement and energy. We're going to get the attention of the whole neighborhood is going to know us.
Right.
That's the goal. All right. Great curb appeal. All right. So music, if you can, bring a little speaker. You may have one of the round Boses or one of these things or another brand. Maybe you can borrow one from your kid or a neighbor or another associate in your office, or you can buy them for a good price. And in fact, in the PDF, there's actually a few different links to Amazon, one for a more mid-level, one for a less expensive speaker. But music, right? And pay attention to the music you're playing, right? Make sure it's appropriate. You may do a candle, vanilla, minimum, open up the windows, right? Bake cookies. Don't bake cookies. That was just a joke.
Just small
Right?
bags of nuts, mixed nuts would be great.
Oh, yeah. In fact, perfect timing to mention that because food and drinks. And this is, when I was talking to Carla, we were walking through the open house and she said she loves the mixed nuts. And because people sit there and you're going to see that in one of the next slides, because people will pick them up and just kind of pop a few in their mouth. And it's a great time to talk to them, right? They're happy they got nuts, right? Consider getting your lender to sponsor or to chip in or help out. One of the things I did not show earlier was get a co-branded rate sheet from your lender.
Right. And one more thing. So this is a great time to form this awesome realtor lender relationships, right? So maybe offer a lender open house free packet. Offer to bring the balloons, bring the food.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're a lender.
And it's a great conversation. You open conversation with the realtor, right?
Yeah.
So
oh my God.
who doesn't want free stuff? And I know realtors, I love it.
Yeah. Celeste Barr wins. I love it. I use bounce sheets in the vents on the floor so the air flow. Wow. I love it. That is so ninja. I love it. All right. So you remember that, will you? I'm going to add that in somewhere. Bounce sheets on the vents on the floor. That's awesome. I love it. Thank you, Celeste, for sharing that. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Another thing is that there are local markets and these people. And, if you think about all those short form video scripts on the dashboard under short form video script, I talk about doing short form videos, right? Reels, stories, what have you, um, at local markets and tag local markets and actually interact with the local owner or manager.
Business. Yeah.
Yeah, with the business. And so you'll see in our trainings that we do, when we talk about video, I talk a lot about that. And this is a perfect reason why, is because now I can go back to them and say, hey, listen, I'm doing an open house, around the corner or down the street or over in the street.
Uh, Hold on, we have a technical difficulty.
There we go. We good?
Yeah.
Awesome. I think, I was talking about something and I
I'm
banged
so
on.
excited.
It's the Italian in me. I apologize. Sorry about that. Anyways, a lot of food ideas. I think personally, I would do the mixed nuts all day long.
Yeah.
Although I would do about 75% less than what they're showing in this screen right here. Go to Walmart, get the 2-pound mixed nuts, or
Oh,
even
Costco.
Amazon you can order.
Costco has it.
Pardon me?
Costco has it.
Yeah, Costco, right?
Yeah.
2-pound premium mixed nuts, and get in the I believe in the PDF accompaniment with this is a link and go to Amazon. Just those little clear plastic cups, and perfect. But there's so many ideas.
Yeah, you can
Uh,
get these clear little bags and put the nuts in there, wrap it. It looks very cute.
yeah, that's key. If you want to be a little
Yeah.
bit more, although I don't, because then they're going to be fumbling around, and I say just use.
Oh, no, I love it. I go to a hairdresser place that they have all these. I usually take 3. It's awesome because 'cause they're small
Right,
and they're just so tasty. I was like,
right, yeah.
"Man, they just get it from Costco." I know exactly where they bought it from.
Yeah, and you're gonna, and I tell you, some of these people are gonna come through, and they're gonna be so appreciative. So they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I'm starving," and "Oh my god,
Totally,
do you
yeah,
mind if I take an extra one?" I mean, and they're gonna be so, just I don't want to say they're gonna be so indebted to you, but they are, because they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, you saved me,"
right.
and you
Yeah,
weren't trying to serve me cookies, which I really
not
don't want
very
a cookie.
healthy.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
I just had lunch, or I'm not into, I don't want to break my diet or whatever. And so, the nuts are something that they're cheap enough to where you can, like, again, you can buy them in bulk, serve them in an appropriate serving size, as you feel appropriate.
yeah,
And it's,
yeah.
good for keto people, good for vegans, I think. Are nuts good for vegans? Yeah.
Gluten
And
free. I don't know. Yeah, I guess
mixed nuts, they're manly, they're womanly, they're appropriate, and they're good for everybody.
so. Mhm.
They're one of the best things. So that's what, but hey, you got popcorn, you got grapes. Grapes can be a good one. All right. I love grapes as well.
Michael, keep it simple, though. Just keep it
Yes.
simple. Yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
Don't
Don't come out like,
overdo
"Oh,
it.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this whole spread." No, 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 no. You don't need to do that. I used to talk about a bunch of different things here, but again, as I talk to more people,
Water.
water,
Mhm.
just bottled water, or again, with the same cup that you do the mixed nuts, you can also maybe do some water. You got the mixed nuts, you got the water, easy, cheap, and people appreciate it. All right. Now we are, oh God, we're already at an hour and 40 minutes. This cannot be a 2-hour call. I apologize for everybody. And I can't believe how many of you are still with us. But on the day of the open house, this is one of those things. When I was an agent, I would have thought you were, just wasting my time. But no, get 10 to 30 directional signs, because it
Mhm.
really helps. I mean, I've been driving around and I'll see a sign and I'm like, oh, I'm in a neighborhood that I like. And I'm like, ooh, they have an open house. I want to go check out that open house. And no, I'm not looking to buy or sell right now. But when I am, and I start getting closer to that, and I see that same thing come up, and now you've essentially just got me driving around to you. But if you only do the A-frame in front, right, or just the flag or the balloons in front, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities. So get the directionals out there. All right, go in. You can even do the directionals 2 hours early, depending on your area. If you think people are going to steal them or knock them over, but most people don't, right? Most people don't. But yeah, try to get at least 10. Start with 10 if you've never done that before. And then you can work your way up to more of them. And again, in the PDF, I believe there is a link. If not, go to the mastermind group and ask there, right? Make sure you prep the open house. So I don't want to see any toilet seats up. Countertops are clean. Laundry is hidden. Open up all the drapes. Open up the windows. Turn on all the lights. All right. Turn on all the lights. The house will look better the more lit up it is typically.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Maybe open a door or the windows to air it out a little bit if you need to before the open house starts, and get all the messes out of the way. All right. I'm going to let you go through this, but to be a professional, so many times I go to an open house and people are just like, there's a flyer on the table over there. Like literally they're in the kitchen, right? They're doing something. Like there's a flyer over there. Let me know if you have any questions.
Can I say one more thing? This sounds like so
You can ask
crazy,
me
but
as
it
many things
happens.
as you want.
The toilet, making sure it flushes.
I'm sorry, what?
Making sure the toilet flushes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been to no, this sounds so crazy. I've been to an open house and you have to because people do use the toilet sometimes, okay? Just for whatever reason. And it did not work. Oh, that was embarrassing.
I know there was I
No, I
saw
mean just
a couple of
whatever.
years ago in some group on Facebook where an agent had done that before the open house. They went to the bathroom and the toilet didn't work or whatever. Whatever it was, it
It's
didn't
just like
flush.
I just for it just looks bad, right?
Yeah.
Just the basic stuff you don't think. Like, oh, I'm sure they are like
Yeah.
you just don't know the clients you work
Well,
with.
if it's your listing, hopefully you know that ahead of time. But you're right.
Yeah.
If you're going to borrow, if it's not your listing, you
Making
might want
sure.
to check out a few of the things, because yeah, there's nothing worse than having having somebody
Yeah,
come
bad
through
impression.
and they use the bathroom and the toilet doesn't work, and then all of a sudden you got the listing agent breathing down your neck. You got the homeowner not happy. So yeah, that might be that's funny. All right. Anyways, icebreakers, intro questions, some just good tips for you, right? We want to start off strong, right? They see the signs, they see our marketing, they come in, they got the flag or the balloons, whatever it's going to be. They're walking in, imagine that they got some nice music, right? They see some mixed nuts, some water, and one more thing here. You see these right here in
Mhm.
your
I was gonna
account.
say that. Yeah.
This is for the 100 Point Home Marketing Plan. So on the listing dashboard, there's a tab called Listing Presentation. Click that, and then the print flyer, that's this right here. So you can scan that QR code, see if anybody wants to scan it, and you're going to bring up my 100 Point Home Marketing Plan. And it's just there. All you got to do is navigate to it and print it. And the other one that I do is I'll do one for buyers. And you can use this is a PDF guide. So click the PDF guide tab in your account. And again, you can scan that QR code right there.
Mhm.
And you can see how that works.
Perfect.
And what it is
Just did it.
you're creating more value. You're creating more conversations. You're creating more follow up with people. And I've got
It's great.
other ones, right? 25 factors. Now, if I was doing a neighbors only preview, right, there's a QR code. So if I'm doing a neighbors only, for sure, I'm going to print up like 5 or 6 of the seller guide print flyers, and I'm going to put them in these acrylic flyer boxes. All right. So again, I just go to Amazon, I type in acrylic flyer box, and right there again, you can see this is the 2-to-1 buy down, right? There's a version for sellers, a version for buyers. So again, a great way to engage, to create conversations with people coming through, both buyers and sellers. And all right, the clipboard, the script. So again, the seller asked me to have everybody sign in. The ending of the open house. All right, so again, just go through this a little bit later on your time. Some outro type questions. And this is, I love this. Just ask if they want to write an offer on the home. So then, depending on if you've talked to them or not, they were on their own, maybe a little bit more. But sometimes just ask, because they might laugh and might create a really good conversation, because they're going to be like, "What? I just saw it for the first time ever." Right? Again, don't be the first person to don't talk through the close. Right? Ask if they would, if they're a buyer and they don't own a home in the area, ask if they want to join your VIP list for off market or coming soon listings. Right? Depending on how you're going to do it, either offer the list of the open houses and nearby listings if it's something that you think you've already had maybe a little bit of engagement and you've already got some follow-up, or use this as the follow-up. So depending on how you want to play that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that might be one of the things where you just take it, you bring one copy of this, as I mentioned earlier, and then if they want it, right? Well, hey, give me your email address, or here, I'll text it to you, right? So do that.
Yeah.
Offer to show more homes to them. If they're at one open house, there might be an off-market listing. There might be an expired listing. There might be another listing in the area where, if you know the inventory, you could say, hey, you know what? I know there's another listing not too far from here. It's got a pool that you just mentioned that you want. It's a little bit of a quieter part of the neighborhood. Let me know, if Wednesday at 5:00 works for you. I think I can probably set up a showing for you, right? Assuming they don't have another agent, right? When they signed in, they said no agent. So that's why you got to know your inventory, so that you can be quick on your feet and offer more opportunity and more options for people. Right. And hey, you know what? If they don't want to talk and they already have an agent, just wish them well. Don't waste your time or your emotional energy. All right. Don't become emotionally damaged from people rejecting you. There's always going to be another person if you do this right. Right. If they're a neighbor or owner, you'll know what to do. Right. We're going to offer a home value estimate. All right. Some more questions depending on where they're at in the funnel. All right. They're just looking, they like the property, or if they're not interested, some different ways of trying to get some engagement going with them. For the open house follow-up, I got clients, they will literally spend, half hour video thank you, right? Pull out their video, record a quick little video thank you for coming by the open house. I hope you like the mixed nuts. I saw that you took an extra serving of it. That will be an extra $2, right? Have fun, right? Have fun with people. Show them your personality, but at a minimum, at least record a quick video thank you to send to them. Some of you are just going to send an email, and that's, you're going to do what you're going to do. But again, the more people can identify and engage and feel like they're engaging with us, the better it's going to be.
Yeah.
So here's a sample script. So again, take a look at that a little bit later.
Be authentic, be relatable, be professional.
Yeah. This is a beautiful one right here. And when you go to listingstoleads.com/open house, you're going to see 7 ways to generate listings after the open house is over with. For those of you, you're building up your listing inventory, maybe you've got more time than money, you're going to love this. I've had clients, excuse me. These ideas actually came from a couple of different clients, right? And I kind of put the different things that they were saying together over a couple of years, and came up with this post open house training. It's awesome. All right. Even if you didn't use the nearby homeowner letter, the post open house nearby homeowner letter, it's beautiful. All right. Whether you mail it or print it, because what is marketing? What is lead generation and advertising? All of it is, we got to have multiple touch points, right? Very rarely does somebody see an ad or see us and start, being comfortable enough to work with us. Now, and especially the neighbors, because maybe they didn't come by the open house. So maybe their only exposure was they got the letter before the open house, and you probably didn't call them. Maybe you did. Good for you if you did. But now when we double up the letter with a post open house summary, some of those people, right? And this was why I loved the idea when the client was talking about it, is people are impressed to hell. People are really impressed. Like, oh my God, I can't believe, that agent Lisa, right? She circle prospected and she left, an invitation to the open house, and I blew her off and I didn't go to it. But man, now she gives me a summary letting me know, right? Because you saw that nearby homeowner letter is completely editable. And she let me know that, 15 people came through and a lot of great people love the property. And too bad only one person can buy that home. And so there's all these other buyers out there that are looking for property, right? So, that post open house nearby homeowner letter is really packs a big punch, right?
And
More
after
scripts.
you mail the open house, and do you normally ask the agent to call them, or is that
I'm sorry, say again.
after you mail the open house nearby home letter? After the post open house
Yeah.
follow up, do
Yeah.
you ask the agent to call?
Well, if you're door knocking, you probably are door knocking because you don't have a mailing list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if you are mailing, maybe it's a just listed or a just sold, and
Yeah.
you're mailing, well, for 100%, if I got the name, address, and email from RedX or My Plus Leads or any of those kind of services,
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the extra money, right? Because by that point, I'm going to be doing the work, and I'm going to skip trace the numbers, and that way I've got 100 addresses with 100 numbers, because I only want to do it where I got a number on the do not call, so that's why I scrub it. Or sometimes they call it lead enhancement, where I can get a phone number not on the DNC, and then because listen, if you want more listings, you got to talk and get in front of and engage more homeowners. And if you're doing an open house, you can circle prospect, and you're going to see that at the 7 ways to generate listing leads after the open house. So you can circle prospect after the open house. All right. I've been talking about that for years. Cindy, what was that guide, what you just went through? Yes. So the guide is more like the summary version of the presentation. And then the checklist is the checklist to the presentation as well. So we have the open house marketing checklist. This right here is the mastery. So you're going to see here, right? Market listing, neighborhood exclusive, circle prospect, prepare handouts, this means prepare buyer and seller PDF guides. That are these things right here. So that's a print flyer for, the PDF guide or the listing presentation. One last thing I would do, and if you hung out, you're going to love it. If it's your listing, I would print out the 100-point home marketing plan. All right. And I would, get a nice folder for it, nice binder for it. And I would leave that out at my open house, and any seller, right, that comes
Yeah.
through, I would say, hey, if you're ever thinking about selling your house, either, in the next month, the next year, or the next 10 years, you should check out my 100 plus point home marketing plan. That's benchmarked against top agents and teams around the country to get the best plan to sell Folsom homes fast for top dollar. And what people are here is 100 point. What? Like, how can there be?
You go to page 17 of that folder,
Oh yeah.
right?
Because this dispels that myth of agents don't earn their money, right? We all know that. Not. So yeah, let me find it. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. So when they're on,
We should
this
just
page,
leave on that. Page 17.
where's the QR code? There. I don't think it's not going to come into focus. But
Oh, no,
there
it did. It did.
All right.
Yep.
So when you got this at the open house, and when they come to that page, if you're with them, just tell them, hey, pull your phone out and go ahead and scan that QR code right there and see what happens. Because what's going to happen is they're going to scan it and they're going to be like, holy crap, like, wow, that's really cool. Because now they're looking at the single property website again, right on their phone. And now, man, you talk about impressive. That's going to be a killer.
Yeah.
All right. Are we good? I apologize, everybody.
Yeah, these are the things that you stand out as an agent when you do open
Mm,
houses. Because most people do open houses just like they treated anything, nothing special. But you have to treat it very special because it's like a low hanging fruit, right? If you do
yeah.
it right, you follow all these things that we talked about, you're gonna generate a lot of seller leads and buyer leads.
Yeah. So here's that
Yeah,
flyer
it's
I
gonna be
talked
more
about.
fun.
Yeah. This is that flyer for the 100 home marketing plan. This is the account
Mhm.
level version of it. You've also got, when you add the listing to your account as status listing presentation, you will have the same PDF, but now it is specific for that listing, and it's even better. There's the PDF version, like you saw, that was in the binder, but then there's also the flip book. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you. Well, somebody just joined us. My gosh, and
Hey, if somebody,
we
I
literally
want
went
to
two
find out.
years
I
or
want to
two
find out
2 hours.
if somebody use this tool and at an open house actually get a listing. Would that be awesome?
Yeah, I'm telling you, people do. I'm not gonna say people do all the time, and maybe they do. I just don't know. I don't track everybody, but I know enough people do. That yeah, and Cindy, exactly right. At least start it, because if you don't start it, or you wait until you're going to be perfect to start it, you'll never start it.
Right.
So just do what you can. Or hey, maybe between now and then you stop by Costco or Walmart, you buy those 2-pound bag of mixed nuts, premium mixed nuts. You get some water, and you buy, like the little plastic cups like this right here. That's a start, right? And then maybe you order a balloon. You try to find out, well, where can I buy balloons, right? Or maybe you order a flag, and in the PDF, I got the flag, a link to where you can buy those. And you just kind of put this all together over the next couple of weeks or a couple of months, even. And hey, within 4 to 8 weeks, your open houses have gone from anonymity, yes, anonymity,
Somebody.
to where you are now a star in that area. All right, and you're gonna get more listings. People are gonna think, even if you're not the top agent, they're gonna think you are, right? They're gonna think you are the top agent. They're
Yeah,
just gonna think like, how have I never heard of this woman? How have I never heard of
about it.
Cindy? Right?
It's
I mean,
always
she's banging it, right? I mean, she's
always
got this,
first
she's got this,
impression.
she's got this, she's got the flyer, she's got a 100 home marketing plan, she's got balloons, she's got the mixed nuts and the water, she's got the handout, she's got the sign-in form, she's got some music going on, she's got, it looks great, right? It's almost like you want people to feel like they're walking into a retail establishment where everything is just laid out beautifully. And they're like, how have I never heard of this person before? Right?
Hosted by Pottery Barn.
Nice, nice,
Your
nice.
local,
All right.
yeah.
Any last minute questions? Celeste, yes, this is being recorded. If you, I believe it'll be on YouTube as soon as we end. So as soon as we close this out, go to our YouTube channel. In fact, let me see. I've always wanted to do this, and because only the diehards are still here,
I can
let me
believe.
bring it up and see if I'm watching myself. I kind of have a feeling I'm going to be.
I don't know how
All right,
we
here we
did
go.
2 hours.
All right, so this is our YouTube channel. So YouTube, just listings to leads. And if you go to live, open houses right here. So see where it says live? So just open houses. And if you click on it, you're going to see us. There you go. All right, everybody good? All right, thank you everybody for joining us on this 2-hour call. I didn't realize it'd be I told you before, right? A 1-hour call seems like about 10 minutes. A 2-hour call seems like about 45, maybe 30 minutes. But it goes by so fast when you're doing it. All right, Gladys, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate that. And everybody else, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for staying late. Yeah, it's very late
Yeah.
on the
And
East
please
Coast.
share the link to the recording with your networking groups and your, whoever, your partners in real estate. Don't share it with your competitors. I don't want you to share this with anybody that you're competing against in your local area, but you are allowed and encouraged to share this, obviously, with your real estate friends in other areas so they can take advantage of it. So Susan, thank you. I know, Susan, I think you just joined us. I think I remember seeing your name come through recently. So welcome to Listening to Leads. Glad to have you. Reach out to us in the mastermind group or to a support team if you need any help. And yeah, Lisa, 2 hours flew by so fast. I hope I didn't make anybody late for anything. I apologize for that. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.